That looked like
Oh my gosh, we were just here, you guys. I swear. I think we traveled in time because we're stuck in the vortex that is Impact Wrestling. But I'm not going to complain about it if I'm being completely honest.
yeah.
But hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of your Table for Two plus you crew here. And we're about to go through our predictions for Impact Wrestling's final pay per view of 2023 and the final pay per view underneath this current iteration of the Impact Wrestling name. So, at the time of this recording, because we recorded this earlier in the day and it will be released right before the pay per view starts, we are going to be making our predictions for Final Resolution 2023. With me, as always, is my Table for Two plus you crew, Andrew and Will. We're going to keep this short, ladies and gentlemen, and non binary folks on the internet land, because wrestling for all of us the next couple of weeks. And honestly, it's a double-edged sword because it sucks, but also it's a great thing. We don't have to talk about stories building into these matches because why? There was none.
I do think it's funny that you're like, oh, we'll keep it short. I'm like, no, we won't.
All right. So let's just jump straight into it. No chaser. The pre-show, as determined by Impact, is going to be Frankie Kazarian versus Kenny King fill-in Sheldon Jean, because I agree with Andrew when we were talking off camera during our Impact Wrestling review episode that I feel like this was supposed to be Frankie versus Kenny, but since Kenny asked and was granted his release from the company, we had to put in his fill-in Sheldon Jean into this match. Frankie, there's no way Frankie's losing this one, in my opinion.
No,
I'm going with Frankie.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
I think that's
All
the
right.
easiest prediction of the night.
Seriously.
I agree. I think it was.
Alrighty. So now we get to the main card. I'm going to work my way up. I'm looking at Wikipedia. Shout out to Wikipedia for having information readily available for this kind of stuff. And I'm just going to make my way up the list because Wikipedia just puts the matches in order from when they are announced. So I'm going to start from the bottom of the list, which is for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. You have ABC, which is Chris Bay and Ace Austin, taking on the team of Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. ABC's retained. Like, you cannot. They just got him back. We can't be flip-flopping the tag titles already.
I do have to say, when I initially saw this, I was like, why? We're not even having the actual, well, kind of tag team that Brandon Myers is a part of wrestle against the tag team champions. But in the last episode of Impact, when they were in Mexico, commentary at least tried to build some reasoning behind this when Myers was having his match. They talked about how, or sorry, Eddie Edwards was having his match, about how Eddie Edwards has got a lot of connections and he's done this stuff and he's really trying to get somewhere and be at the top and wrestle for something. So he kind of finagled a match with him and Myers against the tag team champions. But yeah, no, this is just a chance for the tag team champions to get a win with their title, I think, because I don't think there's any way they're not going into Hard to Kill as the tag team champions.
Agreed. Absolutely.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Also, unfortunately, I still think it's going to be a fun match, but also for me, an easy prediction. You have a Knockouts tag team match with Trinity and Jordan teaming up to face off against Deanna and Giselle. I feel so bad because I feel like this is so uneven. Honestly,
it is. I agree with you.
I'm being completely honest, and I know this is kind of a sin to say this, but even though they're Knockouts tag team champions, and even though they're champions, I would have actually think to make it more balanced, have Trinity and Jordan take on Masha and Killer Kelly. But then, of course, you don't want your Knockouts women's tag team champions to be pinned in this. I would have rather had like a non-title match, have Jordan go up against, give me Jordan versus Kai Lynn. Like, I think that would have been great. Yeah. But I feel like we discussed before, I think we're saving Kai Lynn for whenever Jordan gets the title back. I think Kai Lynn should be the first one to step up to Jordan, which I think is going to be. And, you know, this technically, because I haven't heard if there's any more tapings after this, but technically this is Deanna's last match at Final Resolution. So, yeah, Jordan and Trinity, I think, are winning here. And I think, and I think Deanna's getting pinned here because, you know.
And I don't think that they're... I don't see them necessarily having Giselle take the loss because she's going to be staying around and should be a big part of the Knockouts division, tag division, or singles division because she's one of their other top names. So yeah, I totally agree. I think the championship side of this is going to come out with the victory. So I would have loved to have seen, MK Ultra actually have a match on a pay-per-view again at some point.
Seriously.
But I guess they actually have to have a tag team division to have a tag team title match.
Yeah, we're gonna move on because we're gonna be here all night if we talk about all morning. If we talk about that, that's a whole different podcast episode. But Trinity and Jordan is the consensus here. So okay, also probably another easy one. Funny that this is the match that really has had the build. Oh, poor Rhino. He's going to lose so hard. I'm picking Moose because Moose is your number one contender. You can't have Moose lose, especially since he's going to be going up against Alec Jelly for the title at Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
No, this is a builder match for Moose to get more and more momentum heading into that title. So, yep.
I also
cool. Easy enough. Okay, this next match is where it gets a little bit more difficult. So Mike Bailey versus Trey Miguel. Even though Trey was kind of being the Sour Patch Kid, as Will described him when we reviewed Impact, I don't know. This match actually could go 50-50. I feel like Trey has to win only because he's lost pretty much like he's in the Josh Alexander position. He's lost everything. But I don't know, man. Impact really loves Mike Bailey, and Bailey has been MVP this year for Impact and just wrestling in general. The kid is wrestling way too. He wrestled like 500 something plus matches this year across a bunch of promotions.
Well, I mean, also Trey Miguel has the Rascals though.
That's very true.
I mean, and even though I do love Trey Miguel as a solo fighter, I think he's way better as a tag team fighter. I mean, when he's with the Rascals, he's so much more fun to watch, than as a solo fighter. I went with Mike Bailey on this one. I mean, I just was like, I agree with you though. I think it is a 50-50. I think it's like I think I'm gonna go with Mike Bailey. I don't know. It was my gut feeling, and I just went with it. So I was like, yeah.
So Will has Bailey. Andrew, who you got?
I picked Miguel. Like, I agree. Both of these guys are kind of in the same position because Bailey's been losing a decent amount too, but he's been putting on like absolute fire matches. I kind of feel like if Bailey picks up the win here, it's like recognition for all that he's done. But at the same time, I feel like Trey Miguel seems to be getting put more in ranked a little higher, and so I kind of see Miguel doing that. But I do agree, Will, that I think if for this match, I would, and for future matches, I'd love to see Trey come out with the other Rascals. So that way it's like every time he comes out, it's not just him you're dealing with. You have to deal with their shenanigans and really play into that heel stable kind of a thing, especially because that's how they won their tag titles. They cheated with spray paint. They were underhanded. They hired other people to come in and help them. So keep that going. And that also enables Miguel to be able to hopefully pick up the victory while Bailey still looks strong because there were shenanigans that went into him losing that, which can then keep him in that X Division run too, if that's what they want to do with him. But would not be disappointed if Bailey comes out because that match should be fire too.
I'm gonna go with Trey on this one. I think Trey should win, but I'm excited because anytime Trey and Bailey square up in the ring, it's always a good time. I'm really excited. Speaking of matches that are going to be a good time, I actually think, and this is a hot take, I think this match has potential to kind of be underdog, low-key kind of fire match of the night, unexpected. Jake Something taking on Jason Hodge of the Good Hands. Listen, we know that the Good Hands are good comedic wrestlers, but let me tell you, Jason Hodge, when he had the fans' revenge match, not only was he comedic gold, but I was like, yo, he's actually kind of great in the ring. I do have Jake winning on this one, but listen, I'm really excited, and I really hope that this match lives up to what I want it to be, because I think this potential has to be really good if they actually give it some time. But love Jason Hodge, but I got to go with Jake on this one.
I did too.
100% agree. I think Hodge, because I'm pretty sure his partner is out on paternity leave. I think he just had a baby. I mean, it was a few months ago, but he wants to be at home and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like this is giving Jake a push, with picking up a big victory, because I'm hoping that in the new year, Jake is going to be getting pushed closer to the top. And Jason is a great person to come in and take that loss, because he is one half of a tag team who hopefully when they get back together again will also get added to that division. So yeah, I think this is a big shining moment for Jake, and I'm always down to see more Jake something matches.
Oh, absolutely. So next up, surprisingly, the other championship match that we have here for Final Resolution. For the Impact Digital Media Championship of all things, we have Tommy Dreamer defending the title against Diener. I was like, Impact, you had a missed opportunity to build something between the crumbling of the design leader, which is Diener, going up against Tommy Dreamer. And Diener has kind of been MIA from television for a couple of weeks, but now he's back. Well, no, I take that back, because technically we did see, me and Will saw Diener last week when he was tagging with Jake something as God the Hard Worker. Listen, it was so camp. I love it. I like points to his shirt. I love it so much. But I feel like we're all in consensus. Tommy Dreamer's not losing this title here. He's keeping it.
Yeah, I've said it before. I think Dreamer, they're gonna let Dreamer ride this out till he breaks the record, and I do not see them having it lose it to Diener without some kind of story. I just hope it's a good match.
Cool. All right. So Tommy Dreamer for all of us. And then what I'm gonna assume is gonna be touted to be our main event for Final Resolution. We have the Motor City Machine Guns taking on the team of Josh Alexander and your New Japan to World Television Champion, Zack Sabre Jr. See, on paper, you have one of the greatest tag teams to ever exist in the last 20 plus years or so, taking on what, outside of Danielson in AEW, probably like this team of technical wrestling prowess between Josh and Zack is about to go ham, and I'm so excited. This is, again, because of what we discussed on the Impact review with what we think what's going to be waiting for Josh, with the TNA.
I think they're going to lose this. I think Alexander's going to take the pin, and I think he's going, or if he doesn't take the pin, it's going to be because he turns on Zack Sabre Jr. during the match. But I think Josh is going full heel. I think they've made him lose so much, and they've built up to this match. If this is going to be the main event, I think we're going to have something big happen at the end of this, and it's going to be a big blow up. I'd love to see Josh just like wreck shop on everybody at the end of this match and just snap full bore, go into it, and just have us end this with a heel Josh Alexander at the end of this. But I agree, Motor City Machine Guns are winning because you're not having to do your top two champions. You're one of your most recognizable, if not the most recognizable tag team in TNA. Take this loss to a put together tag team, especially with someone who's not from TNA.
All right, conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
All right, so I feel like we're all in consensus. Motor City Machine Guns is probably who's going to win. Again, I want to put a disclaimer out there before we wrap this up. On paper, there has been no build, and this has been a big criticism, not just for Impact, but for a lot of major other wrestling promotions. They're going to be trash. But we just want a little bit of build. The only real match that we've had built for is Rhino and Moose, and no shade, but I feel like that should not have been a match to have some sort of build for it. But I still think it's going to be a fun time. There's a lot of fun action on here. I'm excited. So we will be back at the time of this video goes up and we record the next day. So thank you for tuning into this predictions video that we've got going on here for Final Resolution 2023. Make sure to check back here at the Biconics YouTube channel on Monday, where you will get to see the full length, somewhat edited review of the actual pay-per-view. And then, you're going to be seeing a lot of the three of us over the next week or so, because Will and I also will be covering Deadline, which will be up on Tuesday. And then you will see me and Andrew not only reviewing the Go Home show for Ring of Honor, then you will see the bros of me, Andrew, JVL, and Jesse, as we also cover Final Battle. Why do you stack so many pay-per-views, wrestling companies, in the December? There was only supposed to be one, and now we have 4. That's not even looking to January. We already had 3 for January. Then we just got 2 for February. Anyways, but we love it here. But Make sure to check us back on Monday to see how many of these predictions the three of us got right. But until then, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, you beautiful bastards. We'll see you for the review, but until then, ta-ta for now.